This is Kate Philbrick, and I'm recording my first reflection for EDU 584 on chapters 2 and 3, and also on the Spotlight article. I mainly want to focus my reflection on the Spotlight articles. There's a couple that I had picked out, but I wanted to take a look at page 21 out of the textbook first, because we actually have a brand new administration this year at Rangeley Lakes Regional School, RSU 78 in Rangeley. And our goal this year, our administration's goal this year, is to really focus pretty heavily on data-driven instruction and student achievement based on how the data supports that. So, but in the past, I think we've been guilty of this piece here where we kind of begin our process by jumping down to where how students are doing, which seems logical, because that's what we want to really focus on. But we kind of skip these beginning steps that identify who we are as a population, and those key demographics based on gender and free and reduced lunch and, all of those, any types of disabilities, those types of things that really can make a difference, when it comes into how we, plan and structure ourselves as a school. And then also down here at the end, we talk about all these things that we really want to do, and how we plan on doing them, but then never really follow through. Sometimes we get to the implementation stage, I guess we've gotten there in the past, but then really taking the time to evaluate what that looked like, it seems like that kind of falls or has fallen through the cracks. So I'm excited this year that hopefully, we're starting at the beginning, and we're taking a much closer look from the beginning and working our way down. So then I want to move over to the Spotlight articles. And the first one that I had looked at was how the government agencies are sharing data. And I really looked at this piece down here, the more data than ever, because I feel like for us anyway, we've heard the word data. I mean, we typically have associated it with, standardized testing and things like that. But our superintendent / principal this year is really, looking at how students are achieving based on data and collecting it at a much more frequent rate than we have in the past. So that kind of resonated with me, that piece right there. And then down this bottom part here, and then kind of moving on to page 4, so down right in here, where they're talking about kids having health issues and things like that, and data kind of correlating between those health conditions and missing school days. And for us, in such a small population, it's very easy for us to do that. And it does have a huge impact on our school, especially when sometimes the average class size is 13 kids, and you might have kids with some type of chronic health illness, and that a couple kids here and a couple kids there obviously makes a huge difference. We don't have class sizes of 20 or 30 kids, so it is very different, and that kind of ties into what my platform was for my project. So, and then I'm going to move on to page 9. And this article actually really tied into my platform. My platform was how to teach the kids who aren't in the classroom, so that chronic absenteeism really, kind of ties into what I'm already looking into. Matt, I know your project is kind of based on that as well. And, I kind of made some notes here. This is the first time our administration has upheld the policy as it's written in the handbook, and are holding kids accountable for being absent. And I'm not talking about, excused absences for health-related situations or things like that, or a kid actually being sick. But the chronic absenteeism, as it's noted in the article here, it was 10% of school days, which is 18 days. And, in years past, this is my 8th year teaching here, and I know that there are kids who are well over 18 days that they've missed, and nothing was done about it. There's something that's supposed to be done about it. There are specific steps in the handbook that were supposed to be followed, but they never have been. And I know that it's, for us this year, it's they're keeping a really close eye on that. And I'm excited about that. And I kind of, hope that leads to kids, being in school more, of course. And it also, it shows, that holding these kids accountable for that, it shows that it's obviously being taken more seriously, which, even for pre-approved absences and kids going on vacation or going, hunting for a week somewhere, that I know the principal / superintendent is still looking very closely on how those are going to be approved. And, I think those decisions are going to have a significant impact on student achievement. I'm excited to see what that data shows us as well. And then moving on to the last piece. I actually, even though I teach a foreign language, I was kind of interested by the data-driven culture in the math classroom, but I focused on the technology piece. And really the two pieces that they've talked about is the immediacy of feedback and relevant feedback during the process of learning, like through formative assessments versus, just at the end through a summative assessment. And, I think that resources like Google Forms, for example, is something that I've implemented in my classroom over the past year or so. And it's been a really easy tool for me to, collect data, a quick assessment, and get a really quick snapshot from children to see, how well they performed. And I can look at them individually, or I can look at a pie graph and kind of see how they performed, in comparison to each other. So it's a really powerful tool for me, even though it seems pretty simple. But it's something that has worked really well for me in terms of data collection. And so that kind of leads to my question to the group. And again, I'm still trying to figure out how we're commenting or responding, but so if someone can help me out with that, that would be great. But my question to you guys is what data collection tool or method do you use in your classroom that you find effective? I think, kind of sharing out on that will be helpful to, to hear how it works, in different types of classrooms. Maria, I know you teach art, and Mike, I know you teach math. Matt, special ed, I think. So I'm curious to see how, that kind of plays out in your classrooms as well. Thank you.